Hi, welcome everybody. It's Mike Newton down here at Lytham Golf Academy. We're just in the fitting studio here. I've got a driver head-to-head for you here today, and quite an interesting one for me here. So I've got the M3 440 driver head here, and I'm going to put it up against the Cobra King F8 Plus head. So basically these two offerings from both TaylorMade and Cobra are the slightly smaller CC compact head, obviously the M3 being the 440 as per the name, and I think the F8 Plus head here is a touch smaller, around the 440, 445 CC compared to the standard F8, which is the full 460. So two of the more compact heads here, and arguably two of the more lower spinning options from these two brands here. Now in terms of the adjustability of the weight, they've both got slightly different ways of shifting this weight around the head here. So basically both have got them set up in the most lowest spinning format. So with a Cobra, we've got the heavy weight in the forward position. The 12 gram weight has gone to the forward position, so that makes it lower spin. In the M3, I've got both weights in the front track, again positioned all the way to the front of the club head. So both in the most lowest spinning option. I've both got them in the hazardous yellow shaft in stiff flex here, so same shaft, same length. Both got set roughly around that 9.5 degree mark. So I'm going to put these head to head and maybe just see if I get potentially any better results with one or the other. Is one more lower spinning than the other? Obviously we know strike plays a big part of that, but maybe what about dispersion? What about feel? What about sound? What about distance there? We're going to look at all of that and maybe see if one is sort of producing some better numbers for myself. So we're going to start off with the M3 440 head to start off with. As I say, got this set at about 9.5 degrees of loft, both weights in the front position. So we'll get this first one hit here. Oh, and that felt really solid. Okay, nice high ball flight. That looks to be going a long way. I'm not sure what that's carrying out. That's carrying mid 270s there. Yeah, that's going out at 289 there, so not a bad little opening shot there with the M3. Again, that's really solid. I love that ball flight. Just a little bit of cut on that, but again, very sort of controllable there. It's a great sound with the M3, you know, very sort of muted, very sort of powerful feel to that as it comes off the club face. Love the look of it. Done a review on this driver before my channel, you can go and check that out, but I like that contrast, that silver, the black, a little bit more squat, compact sort of shape here, really nice sort of feel and solid sound to that really. Oh, that's a bad strike, that's a necky one. I'm not sure twist face is going to help me out with that one. That was a bit of a necky one, yeah. See, that loses so much more distance there. And possibly the disadvantage maybe of going into these smaller compact head, you do give up that little bit of level of forgiveness there, and that can be my poorest strike there, that little bit low heel shot. You know, I've lost that a little bit more to the right of target there, a little bit weaker on that particular one. Yeah, that's a lovely flight. Love that flight, really nice. Again, just slightly up that left right hand side, just a little bit of cut on there, a little bit more length from that one. Yeah, touching 289. It's not my longest, to be honest. I do get a bit more generally out with that. I'd be interested to look at my spin there. I think these are going to be a little bit on the higher side here, maybe just catching these a bit low in the face. But let's get this last ball hit and then we'll look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. Okay, that was a good strike as well. Up the left hand side a little bit there, just changed myself slightly there. Look, yeah. I'm going to look at those 5 shots as I've hit there. Yes, probably first 4 have hit maybe a little bit lower in the club face there. It's pumped that number up a little bit. I've just adjusted that a little bit there. But let's look at those. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll hit the Cobra first and then we'll look at the numbers side by side. Right, okay guys, so we've now got the the Cobra King F8 Plus. So again, this is the slightly more compact head size compared to the standard F8. Very similar. It's got that little bit of a TaylorMade sort of look to it in terms of that carbon effects in the back section of the club, the split colours with the sort of grey, I think they call it a Nardo grey on the front section there, which I think looks stunning. I think it's a great looking golf club, and I've done a review on this, and I did really sort of enjoy hitting this golf club from Cobra. Obviously got a little bit of a busier head here, again probably a little bit about aerodynamics. It's got a milled face here, so more precision on spin around the club face, E9 technology on your off-centre hit, so there's a lot obviously going on with this. Got that front weight set at the front here, so as I say, it's in its lowest spinning option. Let's get this first one hit here. Okay, so that's gone noticeably higher there. Struck that a little bit higher up the club face there, but noticeably higher on its ball flight. Again, quite a nice sort of muted, solid sounding club there as you struck that. So it's not loud, it's not explosive in a way, it's just a very solid, muted sort of sound there, which I love. I love that sound there. Just nice little fade in that first opening shot there with the Cobra. Yeah, again, nice ball flight there. I love that ball flight. Definitely higher there, I'm seeing, with the Cobra against the TaylorMade. That's just touching, just short of 300 there, 299 total distance there. So, but definitely a little bit more up in that sort of air in terms of that ball flight there. Definitely different to that TaylorMade. Okay, I've just pulled that one up that left-hand side here. Not too bad. Just a little bit up that left side. It's going to be long though. Yeah, it's 312. It's a good hit, and that's spun it around sort of 2,300 there. So a little bit lower spin maybe than we saw with the TaylorMade there. Again, I got one like that with the TaylorMade. That slight little bit of draw. Definitely felt that higher up in the club face, which is where that spin will have dropped a little bit, and that's when I squeezed that 313, 310 area, as opposed to maybe sort of 290 area. So it's a good 20 yards of distance I can unlock there. When I get that strike, get that little bit of shape right, there's 20 yards, and that's a lot. It's a big jump for a lot of guys there, in terms of distance off the tee with a driver. Okay, that's an interesting one. That was definitely a heel strike there, but that felt really heel to me. It's lost a little bit of length naturally, as you would do. 271 distance there. My spin probably would have gone up there, but visually that wasn't as aggressive when I hit that low heel with that M3 one. So maybe just held its line a little bit better there than the M3. We'll have a look. It's hard to know exactly on the strike location, but maybe have a little look at that. But that definitely seemed to hold its line. When I hit that and I felt that strike, I was expecting that to peel off to the right of target a lot more aggressively than what that did. But it sort of held its line. I had that fade, a little bit pushy, cutty, but it held its line a little bit more there. Quite interesting. Right, so let's get the fifth shot hit with the Cobra, and then we'll have a look at some numbers here. Try and finish on a good one here. Feels really solid. I think it's definitely a little bit more muted sound than the M3. It's just gone up that left hand side, but I know this one's going to be longer. Yeah, there we go. That's probably the longest there, 314. So definitely open up that 20 yard difference there. When I get that shape, that's felt higher up in the strike. Again, that'll probably be a little bit on that lower spin. That's when I get that over that 310 mark on its total distance. Okay, so let's look at some numbers a little bit more detail. Could be interesting here. There's obviously going to be an element of me, my strike, my delivery, that's going to maybe change these spins, and you can see a difference of maybe drop-offs on distance here from somewhere like 270 total distance when I hit that little necky sort of cutty one, and then also when I get one at 314, when I just change my strike a little bit and just maybe change the shot shape slightly as well. Alright, so let's have a little look at the dispersion rings there. So the TaylorMade is the red ring, the yellow is the Cobra. So pretty identical there, to be honest. And I got a similar sort of shot pattern with both clubs there. I had one that's a little bit cutty, and then some that obviously just hit a couple of draws with each of those. So similar sort of dispersion numbers there. Okay, so we'll have a little look at the numbers here. So we've got M3 against F8 here. So you see club head speed's identical there, 114 area. Touch more speed out with that Cobra by 1 mile an hour there. Launching a couple of degrees higher there, which I definitely saw. It did seem to come out a little bit higher than the M3. And the spin at 2875 against 3078 with the M3. So a little bit lower spinning with the Cobra. But again, that's probably a little bit down to my strikes probably more than anything there. But both on that higher side, you know, I did get some, you can clearly see there, 3.7 there. That's that necky one with the Cobra, and one at 3.1, but then equally with the TaylorMade, there's a necky one at 3.6. That again, that's just purely strike, that's me. 3.1 and a 3 there, but lowest one I got there with the TaylorMade, which is the one that got out at 3.12, spun at 2.5. The Cobra there, you can see I got one at 2.3 and another one at 2.3 there, which gave me a 3.14 and a 3.12. So that's probably where the average has come a little bit lower with the Cobra there. So looking at a total distance there between those two clubs on that particular test with those strikes that I've given you, 5 shots each, you can see total distance there, you know, there's 9 yards further with the F8 against the TaylorMade. Right, okay, so there we have it, guys. The two more compact head designs from TaylorMade and Cobra going head to head there. Now, yes, massive difference of flight there through just strike and my own, and we all know, you know, I think we're all knowledgeable enough to know now that strike can make a difference to these numbers. You know, I'm not a robot, you know, I am a pro golfer here, but again, my strike will change a little bit. Possibly my strike pattern is better than maybe the average golfer, but again, this is maybe how you would have to go, and maybe highlights process. You have to go and get fitted, see what your strike pattern is, get it measured, and then fit into a club that may sort of help that, whether it's length, it's shaft, a little bit of adjustability of the weight, etc. You know, to try and help with that strike pattern, control your numbers. Because equally through that test, and I had one with both there where, you know, I got the TaylorMade on that right strike with that right club path and face relationship, hit me that little draw. All of a sudden that spun at mid 2000s and that hit it 312 yards. Okay, then equally I've hit that necky one and I've dropped off to like 270, whatever it was. You know, there's 40 yards difference between those hits, and that's purely through strike and a little bit of my delivery. So obviously what I do and what I present to that golf ball at impact is going to make a massive part as to maybe what these techs and these clubs can actually do. But you've got to look at this as a test over maybe multiple balls, not just 5. This is just a small little glimpse here. You know, through this test, yes, Cobra was slightly longer hitting, by 9 yards, which is quite a difference there, but a little bit lower spinning and a touch more ball spin. That's where the 9 yards are going to come from. In terms of, if it's me here, in terms of maybe what you want to answer here, in terms of look between these two clubs, it's a tough one. I think they're both stunning looking golf clubs. Probably, if anything, I'll probably edge a little bit more to the TaylorMade. I do like that silver and black, a little bit more of a contrast between those two colours. But I'll tell you what, I do like the look of that Cobra. I think it's a great, probably their best looking driver they've brought to the market ever since, you know, they've been obviously producing golf clubs. In terms of the feel, again, both really good, but I'll probably go for the Cobra on the feel. I like it. It was a little bit more muted there on that particular strike pattern there. You know, it was quite a soft, not soft sound, but a quiet sound there, very much more muted, duller. It felt really sort of solid. TaylorMade was good, I must admit, you know, both very good, but I think the Cobra would edge it a little bit on that sound side of things. In terms of numbers, obviously 9 yards is nice. You know, shot dispersion's a little bit more towards target with the Cobra there, 9 yards longer, touch lower spinning, a little bit more ball speed. So that particular test, I'd have to go with Cobra. Having said that, I could do another test of 5 shots each, and those results could switch into the favour of the M3. Yeah, okay, so maybe you got to go deeper. But this is just a glimpse for you guys. This isn't right. You've got to go forget M3, go and buy a Cobra. You know, this is a case of right. Okay, so they produce some whatever numbers. That's me. That's not you. You've got to then go out and maybe put that in your radar to possibly test against maybe other clubs, you know, M3 or whatever it is that you're sort of looking for in terms of look, the feel, what you're striving to do, and what will fit in with your game. And a good fitter, custom fitter, and a good coach will help you do that with on a launch monitor, can measure and try some shafts and get it really dialed in to suit you. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. I always appreciate watching the videos. Hopefully you found that useful there. If you do, you know, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Share it around with any golfing buddies who may be interested in M3 or possibly Cobra F8 Plus there. You know, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notification of any future videos. As soon as they land, you'll be the first ones to watch them, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.